Some stories begin in the quietest ways, not with danger or noise, but with a small moment that could easily be overlooked if someone didn't pause long enough to notice. This is the story of a man who carried hope in a form no one expected. A few pieces of candy and tiny hand-sewn parachutes falling through the sky of a divided city. In 1948, Berlin stood in the middle of a new tension. The war had ended, but wounds were fresh and peace remained distant. When Soviet forces sealed every road, rail line and waterway leading into West Berlin, the entire city was cut off from the world. Food couldn't arrive by truck. Fuel couldn't arrive by train. Even medicine ran low. To keep the city alive, Allied pilots flew day and night in a massive effort known as the Berlin Airlift. Among those pilots was a young American airman named Gail S. Halvorsen. One afternoon after completing a mission, Halvorsen noticed a group of children standing quietly near the airfield fence. They looked thin, their faces showing years of hardship, yet they didn't beg or shout or hold out their hands. They simply watched the planes come and go. Halvorsen reached into his pocket and found 2 sticks of gum. He tore them into pieces and offered them to the children. They didn't fight. Some children simply held the empty wrappers close to their faces, smiling at the sweet scent. That scene stayed with him. He walked away thinking, if something this small can bring them joy, surely I can do more. That night he picked up a handkerchief and attached strings to its corners, turning it into a tiny parachute. The next day, as his plane approached West Berlin, he tied pieces of candy to the parachute, opened the small window beside his seat and released it into the wind. The children below saw the fluttering cloth and ran toward it, their laughter echoing across the field. It was a small gesture, so small that no one expected it to continue. But Halvorsen repeated it, then repeated it again, and again. The children soon recognized his plane. He promised he would wiggle his wings so they would know the candy was coming, and he kept that promise every time he flew overhead. That was when people began calling him the Candy Bomber. Word of what he was doing spread quickly. Other pilots joined him. Ground crews saved their rations. And people across the United States sent boxes filled with candy, gum, and handkerchiefs to help keep the parachutes floating down. The effort grew so large that it earned its own name, Operation Little Vittles. For a city living with hunger, fear, and blocked roads, those tiny parachutes carried more than sweets. They carried a reminder that even in the middle of division, someone out there cared enough to send kindness from the sky. Halvorsen never believed he had done anything extraordinary. He often said, "All I gave was a little candy." The real miracle was what it meant to them. When he passed away in 2022, people from both the United States and Germany shared memories of how his small act shaped an entire generation's view of hope. Sometimes the world doesn't change because of a grand strategy or a powerful speech. Sometimes it shifts because one person chooses compassion where it is least expected. Gail Halvorsen didn't end a blockade. He didn't sign a treaty. But he offered something many people had forgotten how to feel: hope. And long after the candy melted and the parachutes disappeared, that hope continued to fall gently over the city he once flew above.